nine times. Peace and love, everybody. Hope you're all doing today. Just listening to the birds sing their songs and chant their little tunes. And I like to count. It's a nice thing to kind of do to help to kind of really be present in the moment, just really enjoying being out here in nature. It's a really good thing. I've talked about this plenty of times, and I'll continue to talk about it because it really is rejuvenating, it's therapeutic, and it's just something that I can't get enough of, and I feel like a lot of us could definitely use this more often. And I guess one of the things that I want to talk about today is being present. I found that I'm very much a person that just loves to be in my own head. You know, I'm always so focused on how I want things to be, on how I feel like things should be, rather than really just enjoying the moment for what it is. And I'm thinking to myself, how do I. Oh, hold on. I had a tick on my arm. I'm going to have to check myself when I get back home. That is one of the consequences and one of the things you do have to watch out for when you are out in the woods is that you could come back with something that you weren't looking to bring back with you. But that's not something that I let stop me from coming out here and just feeling healthy and feeling more alive. But let's get back to the subject, shall we? So being present. So I pretty much talked about what it is that my issue, right? Well, I wouldn't say it's an issue. It's something that I can get over. It's a challenge, so to speak. Being in my own head, realizing that I'm in my own head a lot, it really sort of prevents me or keeps me from enjoying the present moment, from really just being in the moment, enjoying the moment, and just fully being there. Because there is a difference between you just being physically present and you being emotionally, mentally, and just having your awareness just being really honed in on what's happening in front of you. And it's something that I feel like I've gotten so good at, being in my own head, you know, just thinking a lot, just really just daydreaming. I trace that to going back to school. You're not really wanting to be in class. You daydream, you don't really focus, you don't really pay attention because the class is boring or it's not interesting. That's definitely, I think, where that habit had a lot of time to grow and develop. And so now I'm learning that, hey, I'm not as present as I should be. I'm not as present as I can be. And in a lot of ways, that can take away from your overall experiences if you allow it to. And I'm taking a second to recognize what is happening. Now I'm taking steps to go about it. So how do we go about that? How do we be more present in the moment? Because I think that's a question that a lot of people are looking to have answered, right? Now, granted, I think that because we're all unique, we all have different situations, experiences, and different ways on how we operate, and we can go on and on about that. Solutions will differ between other people. But I want to talk about what works, may probably works for other people as well as works for myself. And, we can probably go from there. So, how do we be more present? Well, one, I think that it's to really just not think about other things and to just really just, focus on what's in front of you. Sort of like how meditation, a lot of meditation practices, they guide you to really focus on the breath and just listen and be aware as to what is around you, not thinking about what you want for dinner, what you want to what you want to snack on, where you want to go later on, how you got to answer that text from somebody, things like this, right? Not really focusing on those thoughts. You can have those thoughts, that's okay, but let them pass like clouds. Meditation does a really good job. It's a really good way to exercise these things, and I find that it translates well to being more present in the moment. Not really feeding these thoughts your attention and your energy, and just being here. Just being here, listening, participating, and not really, and kind of keeping those other channels to a minimum. Channels that you're thinking about, that you want to entertain, just putting them off to the side. And that takes practice. It's like a muscle. You have to practice it and keep it going for a while until you get better and better at it. And when you start to get better, you actually realize that, and that's when it makes more sense. And you know, it's it's really cliche, and I don't like to say it, but I think it's true for not just a lot of things, but especially for what we're talking about today, being present, is that practice. You could say practice makes perfect. I like to say practice makes permanent. Not only that, but whenever you start something, the beginning is always the hardest. And whether that's educating yourself, learning a new skill, whether that's reading, whether that's picking up a new career, starting a business, uh, whatever, right? The beginning is always the hardest, and this is the case too. Being present in the beginning is very difficult because, especially in my case, I'm so used to being in my own head for years. It's something that I don't even think about. I just do it as a default. And when you're trying to manipulate something that has been your default mode of operation, it really does take a lot more time, energy, and effort to even start to tweak it in a slightly different direction. Even 1 degree takes a lot of time, and to replace that habit with another habit, that's going to take even much more time, especially if you're going to do it completely. I don't know if I'm going to do it completely. I just want to do it enough to be able to recognize, hey, I'm not being present. Let me be present, and then I can do that without much of an issue. That's my goal. Something that I can measure, something that a metric that I can look at and say, did I do a good job of doing this? Or did I not? So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And if you feel like that you could be more present, that's something that you could work on. Work on it. Right? There's no better time to start than now. The only thing that's a little bit of rough news is that the first step is always the hardest step, but that's where all journeys start, right? Every journey begins with a single step. So, and it's better to start sooner than it is later. And with that, I like to say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace, love, and take care.